Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and thanks for tuning in to a 1v1 battle in Napoleon Total War. This was a replay submitted by Gandalf, who is part of my Discord, so thank you very much for submitting it, man. I do appreciate it, and it does allow you guys to get some non-tournament Napoleon Total War as well. So I hope you guys do enjoy, and without further ado, let's take a look at these army comps. The first army on the battlefield today is Denmark, commanded by Gandalf, and he's got 5 units of line infantry here holding the front lines. And then on either wing, he has 1 unit of 12-pounder foot artillery. And on the other side here, he has 1 unit of 6-pounder foot artillery. Then he's also got 2 units of life guards of foot, which is a very solid line infantry unit. So he's got them a bit in reserve. And then he does have 4 units of sharpshooters, which is the light infantry for Denmark. He does have his general here. I'm probably going to mispronounce his name, but Joachim Melchior Holten Castrenscheid, which is probably not anywhere close to what it actually is, but at least I did try. He also has some cavalry over here. He's got a couple units of lifeguards of horse, 2 units of them. And then way over on this flank, he has some light dragoons. And then further on the flank, he has another unit of light dragoons as well. And that pretty much rounds out Denmark's force, so let's go ahead and take a look at his enemy. Way up on the hilltop here, we have Sweden, commanded by the Red Celt, and he's brought a very similar army to Gandalf, playing as Denmark. He has 5 units of line infantry in the front, followed closely behind by 2 units of life guards of foot, so their infantry is exactly the same. He also has a Swedish general, the general's staff, and then if we look over to the flanks here, he does have some cavalry. He's got 2 units of life guard of horse, which are kind of hiding towards the trees. Very epic hats on them as well. Really nice. And then if we run over to the other side of the hilltop, he has 2 more units of lifeguards of horse. So Red Celt definitely has better cavalry. The light dragoons probably wouldn't be able to hold very well against the lifeguard of horse, but we shall see. He also does have some artillery, but it is hidden, so we will see it when it does make itself known on the battlefield. And he also has 4 units of Jaegers as well, which are hidden, but we will see those later on. And yes, a very large hilltop for the Red Celt to hold. Not sure if he's going to push down or not, but I kind of hope he does, so that Gandalf isn't stuck way over there on level ground just being bombarded. But without further ado, guys, let's get to this battle. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and as you can see, we have the Danish line infantry formed up in the city of Austerlitz. I believe that is the map that they did choose for this battle, and he's actually got a pretty perfect position here between these 2 houses, so it will protect his flank somewhat. Mind you, the Red Celt can flank around any of these little buildings and then get behind the line infantry, but we do have some very good lifeguard of horse from Gandalf holding the right flank, and over on the left flank, you can see we have the light dragoons. Now, if I was Gandalf, I would be worried about this left flank here, because if the Red Celt decides to charge with his lifeguards of horse, he will absolutely win. The lifeguard of horse is a very, very good cavalry unit, and the light dragoons, although I think they may have a better charge, they're not going to last as long in melee. And I already do hear some of the cannon fire. I think it might be from the Red Celt, so has his artillery made itself known? It has. So he has a 6-pounder horse artillery just on this slope here. It's actually got a pretty good position to fire onto that cavalry, and I think that is exactly what he's focusing. Yes, huge hits on the light dragoons here, and it looks like Gandalf is actually trying to pull his 6-pounder horse artillery out of the way. We do have the sharpshooters forming up in front of the line infantry as well. The Red Celt, he did have his Jaegers visible. Yes, there you go. So you can see we've got some Jaegers there for Sweden. Now, I have removed most of the HUD for you guys because I want my Napoleon battles to be a little more towards the cinematics, but it's quite easy to tell who is who. The Swedish are blue and the Danish are red. So it just makes it a little bit more immersive for you guys. But I will turn on the radar so you guys can see from time to time what is going on. But yeah, you can already tell that Gandalf is quickly pulling his light dragoons out of fire. And it looks like actually they may be locked up on this ship here, so that is unfortunate. for Gandalf. I think he will be able to get most of the unit back there, though. And we do have the 6-pounder horse artillery moving back to possibly take on the Swedish horse artillery. But again, huge hits on the light dragoons. Look how weak they are already. 34 out of 60 remaining. He does have a unit of lifeguard at foot, though, that will hopefully protect his flanks from the lifeguard of horse. And over here, we also have the other artillery for the Red Celt. He has a 6-pounder over here. And, oh, not the best positioning, and that's really good for Gandalf. You could see all of the shots hitting this little hilltop here and protecting his lifeguard of horse from taking a lot of damage. The Red Celt realizes that right away, and he is actually pulling his horse artillery up to the hilltop. But where Gandalf spent a little more money on his artillery, you could see he brought a 12-pounder foot artillery. The Red Celt went for better cavalry, so instead of only 2 lifeguard of horse units, he actually has 4. But yeah, it doesn't look like anything is going to happen here in the center right now, which is good for Gandalf, because he will be able to focus a little bit more on the flanks at this point. I do actually see some Jaegers moving forwards, though. So the Jaegers have 80 in the unit. The sharpshooters are going to get the first shots off, though, so that is a little bit of a problem. I think these units are pretty even as far as their skill goes. The Jaegers are pretty solid light infantry. The sharpshooters, I would assume, are as well. And yeah, look at the Jaegers here, 58 out of 80 already, so they've taken some decent damage. Meanwhile, the sharpshooters barely losing any. I do want to focus on what's going on the mini-map, though, because I do hear some lifeguard of horse charging around. So the Red Celt is going to be pushing on the flanks here, and the light dragoons here, they're already so depleted, and the lifeguard of horse are already better. So this is definitely going to favor the Red Celt. Almost getting some friendly fire there, though, with his cannon. He's going to have to be careful. But there we go, we've actually got the battle started on the left-hand flank, and actually it looks like simultaneously we have some stuff going on here. We've got the Swedish Lifeguard of Horse fighting the Danish Lifeguard of Horse, 37 to 34, so it looks like the Danish are actually winning on this flank. However, we do finally have the 6-pounder horse artillery set up in a better position, and we've got a fresh unit of... Oh my goodness, down to 40 out of 60 just from those artillery hits. Wow. So yeah, Gandalf really struggling on the flanks here. I think he's regretting not bringing the good cavalry. However, luckily he does have some lifeguard of foot that is lending aid to his depleted dragoons. So hopefully they will be able to do something here. Oh, hold Danish forces. There we go, slaughter the lifeguard of horse. And if he can actually win on this flank, it would be most beneficial for him, because then he will be able to flank around. But it looks like now we do have the main line infantry firing into the sharpshooters. So Gandalf needs to actually... Oh, never mind. His Danish line infantry are in range as well. I'm not sure if he's actually getting a lot of friendly fire, though, against his sharpshooters. But needless to say, the sharpshooters are now taking a lot more damage. However, the Jaegers also pulling back in depleted numbers. How we look at on the flanks over here. Yeah, some more shots coming in. And oh, look at this. We've got the Lifeguard of Horse for Sweden actually hitting the Danish 12-pounder artillery. We've got the Lifeguard of Foot formed up, but they're actually not formed up in the right position. They need to reposition there. And the Red Celt, I'm not sure what he's going to be doing. He is under fire now from the sharpshooters. Lifeguard of Horse maybe were caught there in a position, but the sharpshooters are now mowing down the Lifeguard of Horse, all the while being pressured from the other side by the Lifeguard of Foot. But maybe the Red Celt is focusing over on this side. The Light Dragoons have broken. The Lifeguard of Foot is still holding, though, against the Lifeguard of Horse from Sweden. Let's turn on the HUD so you can see exactly what's happening. Yeah, so, yeah, the Lifeguard of Horse moving very, very slowly here, so I'm not... Oh, this guy's being dragged! This guy's being dragged by his horse! Oh, that is unfortunate, but there we go, finally getting a charge into those Danish sharpshooters with the Lifeguard of Horse, but the 12-pounder foot artillery has routed And now I believe the Red Celt has superiority because he has 2 cannons. Yeah, he's got the 6-pounder over here. We do have the 6-pounder here for Denmark. And we've actually got the Danish general coming in as well because we've got some Swedish Jagers that have flanked around. I'm not sure if they're going to get a good volley or not, though. No, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to form up in time to get a shot on the Danish general, so good battlefield awareness there by Gandalf. And yeah, the Lifeguard of Foot has driven away the Lifeguard of Horse of Sweden. I think that is all that remains. Wow. So he is held on that flank against overwhelming odds, and he has routed the Lifeguards of Horse that was behind enemy lines. So well done there. However, if you look at the minimap, you can see that the Red Celt is still slowly surrounding the depleted Danish forces. His line infantry is getting absolutely annihilated here. It's hard to say whether that is superior positioning or not. Even so, I am seeing some more units moving around the flanks. These are the Lifeguard of Foot, and the Lifeguard of Foot for Denmark has already been depleted by facing the Lifeguard of Horse on the flanks, and actually I might just be in time to see Gandalf holding off the Lifeguard of Horse once again with a quick square formation. And this guy has absolutely no fear. He just rides right into the center and then gets eliminated. So the Lifeguard of Horse has routed there. We do have some more Jagers that are forming up to fire down on the Lifeguard of Foot. The general is over here. We also got the 6-pounder foot artillery, or sorry, 6-pounder horse artillery for Denmark forming back up. But you could see that we've just got superior numbers of Swedish just storming the city. We've got the sharpshooters starting to pull back. We've got the Swedish Lifeguard of Foot pushing on the flanks. There's some huge hits with the artillery too as the Danish try to reposition. We do have the unit of Lifeguard of Foot over here holding this flank against some line infantry. And I mean, the Red Celt is taking damage as well. There's no doubt about that. But now that we've got the Lifeguard of Foot in melee against the sharpshooters and putting pressure on the line infantry to constantly readjust, the Red Celt is just getting a lot more shots. Not to mention the overwhelming odds of artillery for the Red Celt as well. I mean, Denmark does have 1 6-pounder, but, or sorry, Gandalf has 1 6-pounder, but the Red Celt has 2. And you can see the way they're pointed. I think they're actually firing either at the cannon itself or at the depleted line infantry for Denmark. And yeah, the Jagers doing really well here against the Lifeguard of Foot. So well done there. General is defending this cannon, though, just in case there is any more Swedish cavalry on the battlefield. Well, there we go. The Lifeguard of Foot breaking the line infantry over on this flank in melee. And, yeah, this is not looking good for Gandalf. I think the balance of power is against him in this battle. And Gandalf is actually charging his Lifeguard of Foot against the line infantry. This could be a good idea considering the fact that the Lifeguard of Foot should be better in melee. Here we go. Nice. Hold, Swedish. Hold. And then how are we looking on the other side? The Red Celt is breaking, so his line infantry has broken here. This line infantry is doing all right, but the Danish need to readjust their line infantry here. We've got some sharpshooters here as well. And yeah, we've got the Lifeguard of Foot that are moving against the general. Gandalf, again, aware of this. He is pulling back his general out of the firing line. And let's take a look at the mini-map here. So we do have the Swedish general kind of flanking around. We've got the artillery back here. And it looks like we do have some idle Jagers that could be pushed in to melee. The Lifeguard of Foot here, though, ooh, they're just getting destroyed by these Jagers. They're way out of position at this point. And here we go. We've actually got the Danish general going into melee against the Lifeguard of Foot. Huge charge, though. Not too bad. And if he could eliminate this very expensive unit, that would be good. And I'm not sure. It looked like we did have canister shot on there, actually getting a bit of friendly fire. And 62 out of 160 remaining in that line infantry unit. Did they manage to break that line infantry? Yes, they did. So the Lifeguard of Foot for Gandalf was victorious, but 36 men remaining, and here comes a pretty fresh unit of Lifeguard of Foot for Sweden behind enemy lines. Oh, and hang on. I'm seeing some General v. General action, maybe? Oh no, the Swedish general actually eliminating Denmark's last artillery piece. Okay. Meanwhile, not sure... Where is his general? His general's actually in the mix as well, so it's General v. General at this point. And since it doesn't say that it's close balance of power-wise, but maybe if Gandalf could get a general kill, he might be able to turn this around. But the most worrying thing is the Lifeguard of Foot over here. Oh, and whose general died first? The Red Celt. So the Red Celt Swedish general did die. Okay, so it is still alive, but now we've got the Lifeguard of Foot over here as well, which will probably get a pretty good volley on the Danish general as it does try to flee. Oh, no! Oh, no. As it quickly tries to charge in against the Lifeguard of Foot, which does form square. And it's not going to be able to escape there, so Gandalf's general has fallen as well. And I think that is most of his units gone there. The sharpshooters, yep, they are broken. We've got some line infantry here, they are broken. Oh, that is too bad. Such a valiant defense here. We have one more unit of line infantry here, but it will probably break pretty soon. So I think it really just came down to the Red Celt having his Lifeguard of Foot in reserve to be able to take the day. But look at this battlefield here. Not without death and carnage, for sure. You can actually see where the Swedish and the Danes were formed up in their battle lines. Very, very grisly sight here at Austerlitz. And yep, they are routing now as well. And I think that is all of the units for Gandalf pushed off the battlefield. And there we go. So a close defeat, I would say. He killed 946, but the Red Celt did kill 1,275. Let's take a look at the kills. I believe this would be from Gandalf's perspective. So 110 from the Lifeguards of Foot and 135. So yeah, they're very useful. Also 137 from this line infantry. So very, very good battle. Well done to both of you. And I hope you guys liked some non-Napoleon tournament action in today's battle. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more Napoleon content like this in the future. Perhaps we could even get some Napoleon Total War 3 content out there. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next one.